I am Black Crow to talk to you about what my friend has said on the previous occasion.
Thank you. We are willing to listen. Please go ahead when you're ready.
He tells his stories, which are of interest and can also be looked at on many levels and from many viewpoints, as you have already seen. There are many levels to this story he has told you. Your understanding of it depends on the angle you look at it and your own knowledge and understanding. So the appreciation of the story depends on your perception of it. And that is what I would really like to talk to you about. About perception. If a man and a woman have a pet dog, and it is the woman who gives the food to the dog, the dog will see the woman as the most important of the two. But an outsider looking in will see that the man hunts for the food. He provides the food, gives it to the woman, and the woman gives it to the dog. Yet still the dog sees the woman as the most important, for it is she that gives him the food. So where you are within a story affects the way you see the story. So here we have two examples already. Perception, depending on knowledge and understanding. And perception, depending on your position within the situation. Another variation in perception, and this is one that some people have difficulty with, is perception related to time. Temporal perception. If you imagine a tyrannical dictator who massacres many of his own people, the people who are oppressed would quite happily see him removed or killed. But it's just possible that this dictator could be saving future generations from starvation, maybe decades of starvation. Or in his massacre, he may be killing or preventing the birth of a future dictator who would be even worse than he is. And all these viewpoints should be applied to every decision and every situation. And discernment is necessary in every situation, no matter how small. In practice, this is rarely done. Most decisions are based on getting a person to where they want to be. And these decisions can sometimes affect others. But this is seen as an unfortunate offshoot of the decision. So in effect, the world in general is quite predatory in that each individual decision is usually based on their own survival and their own movement to where they want to be. This is not necessarily bad, but demonstrates their limited view of life and living. And so the people who live on the river, the two groups mentioned, have their own viewpoint, their own perception. And unless one actually becomes the other, they cannot fully appreciate that perception. Perception is an art, not a science, and it does require understanding in order to use it to the full. Very few people do this. Most are incapable of doing this, and results in an eternal dance amongst people. One day it is hoped that everyone will be able to see things in this way. But to put it into practice takes time, and it is a learning process, because no one can see from every viewpoint. In learning the art of perception, you begin to see what is important and what just appears important. The two are not the same. Many people spend their lives following what appears important. Only to be disappointed. If something is important, but doesn't want you to know it is important, it will not portray itself in this way. So sometimes it's the lesser things that need to be focused on, because they only appear lesser. Sometimes it's the big things that are just saying, look at me. I like to think I'm important. Or they may be drawing your attention away from the real issue. When I walked the earth, one of the things I did was that I was a crow dancer. I've already mentioned the eternal dance. And this is what we all do. It's like one huge, glorious dance that goes on and on, with most people involved not even knowing why they are dancing. To hone your art of perception, every decision you make should be made as if your life depended on it. This way, the decision means something. It is not made lightly. It is made with knowledge, awareness, understanding. But once that decision is made, there is no point reconsidering it. To make a decision and then hesitate about it makes the decision meaningless. Definitely.
Is that perception of the facts or the people that play the part?
Both. It is always good to question your perception. To make sure you are seeing what is really there.